Welcome to the Visionary Chronicles, a business strategy podcast where we provide insight to those looking for creative, executable strategies built around the latest disruptive ideas, innovative cultures, product creators, and marketing solutions. Hello and welcome to the Visionary Chronicles. Appreciate you joining me today. Again, we're going to talk a little bit further again and continue our podcast on the new book that I just wrote. Just wrote about 18 months or so ago. The Visionary Brand, the success formula behind the world's most visionary brands. And thank you again. I got to say, number one, thank you for those who supported the book, making it a reader's favorite award winner for best nonfiction marketing business book. That's a mouthful. But also making it an Amazon bestseller. Really appreciate your support with the book. But more importantly for me, as I always talk about being a former entrepreneur and business owner, is having those that have reached back out to me on the book saying how they've applied what I talk about in the book. For me, that's the most important thing, is being able to apply what I've outlined in the book and have it make an impact to their business is extremely important to me. And why I personally feel in giving you this information from the book and how to apply it is one for me that's been the best experience that I could have in writing a book. And that was my original intention, by the way, was to give away the book on the ebook side to those that are truly interested in applying what I'm talking about in the book. Not only through the brand experience, but being an entrepreneur, going through personal and professional struggles along the way, as most people do, I felt that would be an important part of the book also. So again, thank you for those who supported the book, and hopefully you're enjoying this podcast series as well. So today we're going to talk about, it's podcast 156, we're going to talk about the UX, the user experience, the buyer experience we talk about it, the seamless user experience journey. And I truly call it a journey because it's changed over the years. You know, I've been the head of product and marketing with some global iconic consumer brands, and I can tell you the journey has changed significantly. I talk about it on a case studies inside of the book in order to give you kind of a visual perspective and also kind of this inside the four walls perspective of being inside of a global iconic brand as to how do they keep this juice flowing, this fire burning inside of the marketing team, the product team, to be a generational success. And I thought a quote from Steve, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Steve. Another quote from Steve here is, our DNA is as a consumer company for that individual customer who's voting thumbs up or thumbs down. Those who think about and we think about at our job, and we take the responsibility for a complete user experience. And if it's not up to par, it's our fault, plain and simply. So Steve in this quote is really, as most brands do, taking responsibility for, number one, anticipating what the customer wants, and number two, providing value beyond the product. I talk about that quite frequently in the book. What I mean by that, again, for those that didn't listen to the previous podcast, if you haven't, I would highly recommend. This is kind of a course study on the visionary brand and how to become visionary. The formula is extremely difficult, and the reason that I named it the visionary brand is there really wasn't a visionary brand out there. Even Apple had some of its downfalls. So take a look at that, is that providing value is what Steve is talking about, and then also making the experience seamless. And I thought the three words that Steve talked about when creating product that just resonated with the design and product team is simple is sophisticated. It's a beautiful, if you think about those three words, the inspiration for a great product, in three words: simple, sophisticated. If you have to read the instructions, it's too difficult, is what Steve's intention was. So when you're out there designing products, many times I see great product companies, but not great brands. And what I mean by that is You may have a shoe company like Mizuno that does great shoes. And the reason a lot of people maybe haven't heard of Mizuno is because they're a really good product company, but they're a horrible marketing company. They just don't market properly. So all of these other consumer footwear brands have taken them over and swallowed them up, even if they may have even a better product. They've just done a horrible job of providing a lifestyle experience through this customer journey of experience, authentication, telling us what their point of difference is. All of these things are important in the customer journey. So you need to make sure you have all these pieces. So let's talk about what this seamless user experience looks like, what I call affectionately this UX in the book. And a seamless experience should always be the goal for any premium brand. And I say a premium brand because if you want to be premium price points, premium product, best in class, whatever you want to call it, you can't be that without having a seamless user experience. It's that important to the success of your company and your brand. The user experience is this kind of what I call this multifaceted puzzle built from the brand's foundational principles of the brand itself. And you always need to look out for the consumer time and value when it comes to user experience, especially in the day and age that we live in today with the attention span being literally nanoseconds. Is why am I looking at your product? Why am I looking at your brand? How are you different? And what are you going to do for me? Yes, what are you going to do for me? You need to have that answered before you commercialize your product, by the way. And why it's so important, and I also talk about it in the book as well, is this power triad of product, marketing, and sales in that order of execution, by the way. Marketing should never jump over product, and sales should never jump over marketing. There should be a flow to the commercialization of your product. And those three are extremely important. So being able to provide this seamless, fully integrated brand experience rather than this dysfunctional culture, disjointed user experience is a clearly defined point of difference from your competition. Now, if you're a premium brand, I have seen and been with Liquid Mind, many brands that we work with have this user experience dialed in. And I have this hashtag that I use now that I love it. I've gotten a lot of feedback on it is hashtag get it right, hashtag got it right. And there are many people that are getting it right, but too many people are not getting it right. So think beyond the purchase cycle. And the example of this, if you look at where the progression of the user experience, or let's just say the buyer experience at this point, has changed significantly. We had the funnel before. And those familiar with the purchase funnel is that when there's a purchase that happens, when you acquire the customer, they do consideration, they actually purchase your product, you spit them out in the back end of the funnel. It's a big funnel that you used to say on marketing. You just let them go and you go after the next customer. Well, there's this thing called customer lifetime value that is now part of revenue generation that people weren't able to tangibly define before, much less measure. And you can do that now. So think beyond the purchase cycle means that visionary brands extend the user experience into all company areas. And how the brand interacts at all these levels will create an unforgettable user experience or brand purchase by design. And as an example, think of how you engage with a brand. You've got preferences with brand on your clothing, apparel, footwear, services, whatever it may be. Whether product, information, events, or some other value-driven need, the experience itself always sets a good brand apart from the rest, or a great brand from the rest, and keeps you coming back to them. And this is what creates loyalty through authentication and generational customer lifetime value. Just look back at your life. And those that you are a little older, been out there for a few years, look at what your experience is and why you keep coming back to the same brand over and over again, even if they have a few bumps in the road here and there. I remember back in pre-Steve days, Apple was on the verge of bankruptcy, yet people hung tough with Apple. I was one of those. I hung tough with them because I knew what their brand foundation stood for. And if Steve came back, those foundations we put back in place versus the direction that they lost when he was gone. So you as a brand, there's several principles. And the thing that's important for me to do is to understand how to apply the principles of a great user experience. And when I looked at all the brands that I've been with personally, and also the brands we work with Liquid Mind, these are the things that we'll whiteboard. So I want you to be aware when you look at these. I'll give you some examples of a seamless user experience in the end result. And then also things to look out for, things you want to whiteboard as you move along in defining, number one, where you're at in the process of what you think is a seamless user experience. What I find is that many people, not surprisingly, are kind of blind to what their user experience actually is, the reality distortion. You may think it's one thing, your customer may think it's another thing. So it's very important to get feedback. It's also very important for you to go through the experience yourself. Don't just think it's great when it's not. So number one is a great user experience is seamless with an end user in mind. Make it easy, both with products and your processes. More often than not, what we see is our brands that we work with at Liquid Mind will either miss on one of those two. And Mizuno is a great example. Products, processes. Products can be marketing. It can be the commercialization of a great product. It can be defining a point of difference. Whatever you want to call it, the processes themselves are customer service, returns, purchases, whatever it may be. These are all part of the process. Out of stock positions, colors not there, sizing wrong, whatever it may be, make it seamless for users. Make it easy for them is what the seamless side of a user experience is. Number two is time is money for everybody, young and old. I don't care what it is. Ensure you save your customers time, both pre-purchase through brand consideration, product feature definition, reviews, and the purchase process itself. Don't make anything difficult. Make it easy for your community to build loyalty with your brand. And also, what people forget and what brands forget about is they're so busy on the front end, pre-purchase. And we've all been there and we've seen it. Acquire, dispose. Acquire, dispose. Acquire, dispose. What they don't think about is the post-purchase side of it. Nobody wants a return. I get it. But if I can guarantee you this, if you make the return process difficult, your customer life cycle plummets. That value of your customer long-term plummets. It's a given. Number three is longevity. And what do we talk about there is the lifetime customer value, long-term value of your customer. It's always in the old adage, the old adage that we all know of, and it's true even in the digital age we live in today, in the AI age we live in today, is it's always easier to take care of a current customer than to attract new ones. Too many brands either choose not to engage with their current customers or do not have a process to deliver personalized post-purchase value propositions and value beyond the product. I'll say that again. Too many brands either choose not to engage with their current customers or do not have a process to deliver personalized post-purchase value propositions and value beyond the product. It's just a given. It's difficult. I get it. We're too busy making products. We got the new season coming out. We've got to find a way to dispose of previous seasons. We've got to find a way to get the new line into stores, into retail, and our D2C business. I get it. Never be too busy to take care of your current customers because they'll be gone before you know it. It's just too competitive out there. Both of these emissions are detrimental to long-term sustainable growth. And when you whiteboard, what is the intention overall? I don't care what department you're in, sales, marketing, product, the CEO of a company, or in customer service. What is your intent? It's for sustainable growth. We always whiteboard that with Liquid Mind. It's one thing to have revenue, but it's even more difficult to sustain it. And how do you do that? It's through lifetime customer value, long-term value of your customers. By the way, your current ones. They're not expensive to take care of. Take care of them. And I'm always amazed, when I engage with small and large brands, how they've failed to implement and integrate this into their brand. It's just beyond belief. And every single one, I can tell you out there, 100% when you whiteboard this, all go, holy shit, I've completely dropped the ball on longevity, customer lifetime value, taking care of your current customers. And that brings me to number 4, take care of your customers and they'll take care of you. That's enough said beyond that. If you don't get it, you got problems. So number 4 is take care of your customers and they'll take care of you. Number 5 is, and this is an interesting one, and it's kind of more so towards where the market has gone to. It says simplify your engagement points. Empathize with your customers, understand their needs. Nothing's worse than this lousy purchase experience. And we've all had it. I have. I despise the chatbots right now. I don't know about you, but they don't work. They're not intuitive, and they've got a long ways to go. Maybe that's an opportunity for AI. I just find it frustrating. I'm one of those that wants something to work before you release it. So nothing's worse than that type of an experience or a bad return experience. Whatever it is, that's part of your purchase cycle. It's not just acquire, dispose. It's acquire, maintain, acquire, maintain, acquire, maintain. You may not like the execution of a seamless experience, but it must be the same on both ends of the engagement cycle. When they come out the back end of that funnel, that's when you build loyalty. That's when you build that lifetime customer value. And a statistic to keep in mind that I think was through Harvard Business Review when they had done a study on why brands make it, why some brands don't make it, what's the number one issue facing brands. It's not bad product. It's 76% of complaints from customers are having a bad service experience. Service, not even product. People get that product's not going to be perfect, but they assume a human is on the other end of the phone. They're going to be ethical. They're also going to be very compassionate to what I'm dealing with and have a solution when I ask for it. So make sure you don't do the same. Be different, be memorable, and be personal. So the touch points experienced by customers are what you create are seamless when you talk about an end-to-end user experience. So when the outset of the book, or when I started talking in the book, I kind of did this process of how I wrote the book chapter by chapter is from how you structure and build a visionary brand, marketing, sales, product, the journey, the principles, the foundation, the execution process. And then I kind of went through this back end here, which was the user experience. When you've actually built a great product, what do you do? How do you ensure that you continue to maintain that revenue flow? So I've continually mentioned that visionary brands think beyond isolated or solo approaches to strategy. They analyze this overall user experience, how this product will impact people's daily lives, and how to develop a user-friendly and out-of-the-box experience. At the very beginning of a product's development, in the beginning of the book, we talked about these things, was ask these questions. How will this make our lives better? Where does it fit? Why are we doing this? What's your point of difference? When will it be ready? Who will buy this? These need to be asked early on unless they're cohesively and collectively answered by the brand team, product team, the marketing team, with a clear strategy around marketplace execution. The answers will not be apparent to those who are communicating with you. So you can't be at all places at all times. So ensure your voice is translated through them and through your foundational principles, consumer engagement, whether online or in person. You can take the form of product marketing literature, translate it into easy terms, sites dedicated to the brand, product experience, merchandising, point of purchase, videos, ambassadors. These are just a few of the things that you can utilize. The thing that we see with Liquid Mind when we talk to our brands and we talk to leaders of brands is I don't have enough resources. That's one. I don't have enough talent. That's number two. Well, these are all things, and with artificial intelligence, all of this can be handled for the most part by artificial intelligence and also a smaller resource team that can build this platform for you. So this takes the form of product marketing. Again, product marketing in easy terms, your defined point of difference, product experiences, merchandising, point of purchase, videos, and whatever it is. Have a strategy around how are you going to communicate your point of difference, your brand principles, and your product features that are going to provide value to your customers. So have answers to all these before you commercialize your product. In all of these these product commercialization planning, and I say pre-planning because this indirectly relates to an excellent user experience once you do finally put that product into the marketplace. So creating this seamless buyer experience, we talked about some of the benefits of and some of the questions to ask about creating this culture of a seamless user experience for consumer brands. So what we want to talk about now is what are some of the things you can implement in order to be a visionary brand on the user experience side. So this seamless buyer experience is essential for consumer brands, aiming to sustain lifetime customer value, building long-term loyalty, and increasing customer satisfaction. You look up on your board right now and you see what is going to drive revenue for your brand. And it isn't a great product anymore. It is defining your point of difference with that great product, providing value beyond that product, building loyalty, not putting your product where it should not be versus where it should be, and increasing customer satisfaction through a seamless user experience. So here's a few key strategies you can take a look at. See how many you have with your brand. If you don't have them, I would really whiteboard these and make sure that you're looking through each one of these points that I'm going to provide to you to see where you at from a score of 1 to 10 and where you need work. So number one is understanding the customer journey. You would think this is easy, but it's not. You want to map that journey, identify all the touch points where your customers interact with the brand, from awareness through post-purchase. Develop a persona for your customer to understand their needs and preferences and pain points that they have. Number two is consistent branding. I've seen too many brands where they don't have foundational principles to branding. I'm putting my marketing hat on here, but all you out there in marketing know this, is understand who you are as a brand. This means your colors, your branding, your logo, your positioning, your point of purchase, your merchandising, your direct-to-consumer ads and campaigns that you're doing out there. Ensure your brand messaging is consistent, uniform. Website, social media, emails, in-store, and your visual identity is also consistent. Maintain a consistent visual identity. That means your logos, your colors, your fonts to create a cohesive brand image. Number 3 is omnichannel. Integrate your channels. Provide a unified experience across all online and offline channels. Customers should be able to seamlessly transition between your different channels, online or in-store. Should all look the same. And by the way, in doing this, it makes your life easier as a brand. Responsive design. That's another thing when we look at websites and we do an audit of our brand's websites, their mobile websites. Is this responsive design? Many of them, believe it or not, many of them still don't have responsive design. So ensure mobile-friendly websites, apps are accessible. More and more people are moving to mobile purchases. Matter of fact, that's the fastest growing segment. It's not jumping on your computer and making a purchase. And then number 4 is personalized experiences, the fastest growing segment of ensuring a seamless user experience. Use customer data to tailor experiences such as personalized recommendations, emails, offers, whatever it is, and customer segmentation to ensure that you're basing your recommendations on their behavior, their preferences, demographics, and offer up product that's relevant to their needs. And this goes to value. Don't recommend a run shoe to somebody that's a walker. You've got a distinct difference between the two. Make sure that it's defined in your campaigns. And a streamlined process is number 4. This is the seamless user experience. Easy navigation, quick checkout, transparent policies, intuitive websites. Build trust by communicating your shipping, return, and refund policies. So all of these things should be clearly defined. I can't tell you how many websites I've been to when we look at it where they don't have a clear return policy. You call and what they show online is different than what the reality is. That's a huge, huge detriment to your success. So be consistent and have integrity in everything that you do on this process. And number 6, it's not just customer service. It's superior customer service. If there's one area that I feel brands are not investing enough money or not proactive enough on, is customer service. Think about it. I think everybody has had a bad customer experience. Good brand or bad brand. If you have a bad customer experience and you love the product, you go away. You just don't want to deal with it. So have multi-channel support, phones, email, social media. AI and automation is a key to ensuring this, but be careful. It's there, but it's not quite there yet. Understand what the chatbots can and cannot do, and have a backup response if they can't get an answer through AI. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a great thing. But just be careful how you utilize it. And also empowering your staff. Train the representatives to handle issues effectively. This is one area that we really work with our brands, is that training the staff on product, on features, how to talk to a customer, how to be empathetic with a customer. Brands don't do enough on this. Number 7 is technology integration. Not just technology, but integrating it properly, not doing it just for the sake of doing it. And this can be your analytic reporting. It can be behavior and optimization of buyer experiences. Number 8 is community building. And what I mean by community building is again, this goes to customer lifetime value. It goes to providing value beyond product. Engage on social media. It's important. Create and participate in communities where customers can share experiences and feedback. Make them feel like they're part of your brand. They're there for a reason. You're selling a lifestyle, not a product. Never forget that. Number 9 is innovation and trends. Make sure you stay updated in all the current trends. Stay flexible, be adaptable in everything that you're doing. So with these areas, hopefully, that's a lot. It's a mouthful. I get it. But it's really important. It's probably one of the most important chapters in my book if people really look at where their weak points are. How are they going to define a point of difference? How are they going to sustain revenue growth? How are they going to build loyalty, customer lifetime value? You look at all these things, and it's all through a seamless user experience. So by focusing on these strategies, consumer brands can create a seamless and satisfying buyer experience that meets and exceeds your customers' expectations. That's the goal, is not just to meet their expectation, but to exceed it. Know what your competitors are doing and excel beyond what they could even imagine, creating loyalty, encouraging repeat business. So I always say, stay true, stay authentic, be different, and be great, but enjoy the journey along the way. And thank you for joining me on the Visionary Chronicles podcast today. I'm always, always, always appreciative of your time. I understand everybody's busy. And being this is the Visionary brand, I want to remind you again that the book is available through all of the book channels, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, all distribution channels still carry the book. And again, thank you. Thank you for those that have given me feedback on the book and also supporting the Reader's Favorite Award winner for Best Marketing Genre Business Book and also making it an Amazon bestseller. And also, please, if you love what we're talking about, or at least like what we're talking about, subscribe to the Visionary Chronicles podcast. Just hit the follow button and you're in. And by doing that, we'll send you some nice giveaways, some free courses. As a matter of fact, we just started, very proud to say again, that we just finished in January, actually, after about 12 months of hard work, the Visionary Brand Master Course. And we're actually hosting it on the visionaryfiles.com. And also with that, we've got our premium podcast up there, which is exclusive content that those who subscribe to the podcast. And also the Visionary Brand Master Course is about 2 hours of visionary lessons, 18 video courses that you can skip around and listen to whenever you want. So we've had a lot of brand leaders and entrepreneurs having taken the course. I think we're hitting, I'm going to say 2,000. So unleash your potential, as a brand leader and take this master course. I guarantee you the feedback also has been great, and ones that have applied it immediately to their business. So sign up at the Visionary Brand Master Course and you get a free hard copy edition of the Visionary Brand. I think there's a Visionary Brand coffee mug. We all kinds of good things out there for you on the visionaryfiles.com. But also, I oversee, for those of you know, Liquid Mind, which is at Liquid Mind Site, LIQUIDMINDSITE.com. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to either answer questions, have a free meeting with me to talk through any personal or professional issues or dilemmas or problems your company or you personally are facing as an entrepreneur. Happy to talk to you about it. So it's a global brand strategy firm. We partner with startups. We also volunteer our time at UCLA Venture Accelerator Program. I'm also on the board of UCI Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program. And we've got a great program there for those who are interested in entrepreneurs, also for startups. We have contests that we go through and cash prize award for the winners of each one of these categories in business: consumer products, services, technology, medical, whatever it may be. So feel free to contact me at Bryan, BRYAN, at liquidmindsite.com, LIQUIDMINDSITE.com. And look forward to the next Visionary Chronicles podcast. And thank you again for your time. I appreciate it. Have a great day.